Not-A-Critic here. All material in the video used is owned by the corresponding copyright holders. Not-A-Critic does not own or claim to own the copyright. Please help support the filmmakers and those involved with the development of said work by purchasing a copy to enjoy. Purpose of the video is for criticism, comment, research, and teaching under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, under fair use. Hello everyone, wherever you are, glad you're here. I'm Not-A-Critic. Today we'll be taking a look into the cult classic, Fight Club. Let's get into it. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert. What you doing? Watch the movie if you want. Originally released in October of 1999, Fight Club will take over the country in a new phenomenon. There will be a moment where some of the moviegoers go in and come out feeling completely different. Different in their perspective and mannerisms and the way life ought to be lived. Fighting could and would create outlets to those seeking to change a seemingly mechanical lifestyle, being able to feel an adrenaline rush like no other, where you were forced to be present at that moment, thinking about the challenge in front of you and nothing else. Life receiving meaning, the reward worth the struggle, because it was real. The film opens up to the voice of Edward Norton, talking very calmly and without care, completely contradicting the visuals. The barrel end of a handgun being forced to be placed in between the narrator's mouth, beads of sweat pouring down, and a bloodied face. Tyler Durden, cigarette in mouth, looking ominously out into the skyline of the city. Quickly you're given the layout of Project Mayhem, minutes before the final countdown. The camera sweeps over the barrels and barrels of high explosives, strategically placed throughout various high-rise buildings. But what happened? What led to being in that situation? Let's backflash to a time where the narrator was gridlocked, doing his 9-to-5, fueling a culture of materialism, trying to achieve satisfaction through a catalog, constantly moving through the world in a blur of his insomnia, getting worse and worse. Only finding a temporary solution by attending support groups where he would pose as a cancer patient or many other terminally ill diseases. For a while, everything goes as planned till the day Marla Zinger shows up. Posing in all black, Marla gives off an energy of not having a single care in the world. Her philosophy centered on death, finding amusement, stating the meetings being cheaper than a movie and with free coffee. Next, she walks nonchalantly into the cleaners, removing a load of laundry only to sell it right back for a quick come-up. Lastly, walking into oncoming traffic. In this single confrontation, both lives will be forever intertwined. The narrator's job is a recall coordinator. It involves investigating car accidents for a major car company. The constant flight lag from location to location would become another insomniac blur. In comes Tyler Durden, reading over an emergency flight pamphlet. Tyler is a man who cuts all the BS, living life without a care, and the man sells soap for a living. Some small talk and that would be it. What would soon occur would be explosive. Literally, the narrator's apartment exploded. Boom, everything was gone. After luckily finding Marla's number and giving it a ring, he would hang up and instead call Tyler. They met at a bar, and after 3 pitchers of beer, the narrator picked up the courage to ask to stay with Tyler. Tyler would allow it, but under the condition that he punch him. Some hesitation, but ultimately what would result is a fight of passion and encouragement. From that moment forward, life will never be bland. It will never become another insomniac blur. Fight Club is birthed. First rule of Fight Club, don't talk about Fight Club. Second rule of Fight Club, don't talk about Fight Club. Third rule of Fight Club, someone yells stop, goes limp, taps out, the fight is over. Fourth rule, only 2 guys to a fight. Fifth rule, 1 fight at a time. Sixth rule, no shirt, no shoes. Seventh rule, fights will go on as long as they have to. And finally, the 8th rule, if it's your first night at Fight Club, you have to fight. It wouldn't be long before influence spread, resulting in a group of individuals dedicated to the ideas and meaning of what Fight Club represented. All it would take is a glance, and you would know. Everywhere you looked, there would be someone. Life will cycle back and rediscover people from the past, bringing them to a new level. Now, Marla is no longer ignoring you, but paying attention, wanting the narrator. Work is irrelevant because crazy meets ingenuity. Everything and anything that was a distraction will dissolve, and all the focus will be redirected to achieving the biggest accomplishment, Project Mayhem. The social web would be designed in order to create a system of spending, a world driven by the consumers, relying in individuals buying insignificant items. As a result, the banks would be racking up vast sums of money, all the while other people are simply trading the value for temporary joy. Tyler plans of breaking chains and bringing liberation through the method of high explosives. The explosives would be placed by the most dedicated members of Fight Club, in skyscrapers where the biggest banks would reside. A drastic change of emotion and attitude would occur towards the last sequences of the film. Bob, a dedicated member and one of the first quote-unquote friends of the narrator, would be killed during a night mission. The shock of seeing Bob's dead body on the table would snowball into doubt of Project Mayhem. What would follow was an intense search for Tyler Durden. The biggest plot twist will be revealed that all along, the narrator was Tyler Durden, an alter ego of everything he wanted to be, a split of emotions that couldn't last, and with the pull of a trigger, it was over. The finale would be the narrator explaining to Marla that she met him in a very strange time in his life, as bombs exploded all around. Thank you for watching another episode. Leave in the comment section below what you would want to see next. This is Not a Critic. Mad love.